begin by looking at converting measurements. And we want to begin by looking at the English system. Now, in the U.S., we use two different types of measurements. We have the English measurement system and we have the metric system. The English measurement system is those measurements with yard, foot, mile, inches. This is also the pound, ounces, those types of things. Okay? And so we want to look at how to do those conversions. Now, originally, in the English system, a yard was measured by the tip of your nose to the end of your outstretched arm of an adult person. And a foot was the length of a human foot. Well, we all now know that the length of a human foot of an adult person is not always the same. Same thing when we're talking about from the tip of a nose to an outstretched arm of an adult person. So we came up with something that is standardized. We have something that we all know what a foot actually looks like nowadays. We have rulers and yardsticks and things of that nature that we can trust as far as their measurements. Okay? Now, sometimes when we have those measurements, we also want to look at, well, I have a 15 inches, how many feet is that? Or different things of that nature. And so many of us know that there are 12 inches in 1 foot. There are 3 feet in 1 yard. Many of us may not realize that there are 5,280 feet in 1 mile, which is the same thing as 1,760 yards in 1 mile. We do sometimes want to do some conversions, and when we do those conversions, we want to use something called digital analysis or dimensional analysis. You use this a lot in science, and we want to use it here as well. What this is we want to use it and use the process with unit ratios. Things that are equivalent to 1. And we treat them as fractions. So if you notice up here, 1 yard is 3 feet. 1 foot is 12 inches. 1 mile is so many yards or feet. Okay? And so when we're converting here, we want to pay attention. So we have 100 inches and we want to go to feet. When we do so, we always start with whatever we're starting with. We're starting with 100 inches and we're going to multiply that by something. Okay? Now, whatever unit we start with here, the inches, is going to go on the denominator here. And the reason why is we're going to want to cross those out. Okay? We want to go to feet, so we look at feet here. And what do we know about inches and feet? We know there are 12 inches in 1 foot. So we put 12 inches is equal to 1 foot. This is a unit ratio because these two things are equivalent to each other. And you can always think of this as over 1. And And therefore what happens is in fractions you can cancel out the units if one is on the numerator and one is on the denominator when you're multiplying. And then you multiply straight across. And so we get 100 over 12 feet. And if we want to make this as fractions or mixed numbers, this will give us 8 1/3 feet. Because I can go over here and say 12 will go into 100 8 times, and 8 times 12 is 96. So that's going to leave me with 4. So I get 8 4/12. 4/12. 4 goes into 12 one time. So that's 8 1/3. So 100 inches is 8 1/3 feet. And the reason why we want to do this as fractions or mixed numbers is those are the most accurate. When we convert these into decimals, that's when we get into the rounding, and those are approximations. These are exact values when we put them in as fractions. So I want you to kind of pause the video and see if you can do these other three. And then you can start the video back and check yourself. So we have 400 yards. And so we need to put yards on the denominator. We know that 1 yard is equal to 3 feet. So the yards will cancel out. And then again, we multiply straight across. So 400 times 3 is 1,200. 1 times 1 is 1, which that's just going to be 1,200 feet. We start with 300 feet, and we're going to inches. So we're going to put feet on the denominator. We want to go to inches. So 1 foot is 12 inches. So the units of feet will cancel. 300 times 12 will give us 3,600 inches. Then we look at this last one, and we start with 372 inches, and we want to go to yards. Well, I don't have anything that goes straight from inches to yards, but I know that there are 12 inches in 1 foot. Okay, so that cancels this out. And then I'm still wanting to go to yards, so I know that there are 3 feet in 1 yard. So notice my feet. So notice I want to put the units on the opposite numerator denominator. So I started with inches. So I put the inches on the denominator here, and I put feet on the numerator. And then I wanted to cross out the feet because I wanted to go to yards. So I put the feet on the denominator here and put the yards on the numerator. And I multiply straight across. So 372 times 1 will give me 372. 1 times 12 times 3 will give me 36. I divide that out and I simplify, and I will get 10 1/3 yard. So this is how you do conversions within the English system.